Good morning, students. Again, I welcome you all for today's online economics class, and today we will continue the chapter number 3rd, is it collection of data. And today we will discuss what is meant by census and sampling methods. Firstly, we will discuss what is census and sample, and then what are its methods of sampling. First of all, census is there. There is totally difference between census and sample. Census is that kind of method of collection of data when each and every item of the universe or population is taken into consideration and the data will be taken from each and every one. Means each and everyone gets equal opportunity. Is it? That kind of data is known as the census. Like as in front of you, the best example is census, population census. In India, after 10 years, census of population is done. Is it? And this is the best example which is used for the census method. There are some differences between census and sample. We will discuss them. But sampling is that kind of method. It is another method in which each and every item of the population or universe is not getting equal chance. Is it? On some characteristics, on some basis, we are selecting the some data, and that is the selecting data which we are selecting is indicating whole data, is representing whole universe or population. Is it? Like as in sampling method, I will give you the example. Is it? A lab technician is taking few drops of blood and then giving the report that the blood group will be this, that, and so on. Means after examining only few proportion, is it, that is the proportion which we are taking is indicating whole data or whole population or whole universe. That is the method of sampling. Shortly, census is that kind of method in which each and every item of the universe is getting equal chance. Is it? And sampling method is that method in which on some basis of characteristics or some features we are taking samples, we are taking data, and then the taken data is representing the whole data. Now, what are the methods of sampling? There are 6 methods which are using for getting the data in sampling method. First one is random method. Random method is there. Purposive method is there. Purposive method, then stratified, then systematic, then quota, and then convenience. These are the 6 methods which are used to collect the sampling method. First of all, random sampling is there. Random sampling is that kind of sampling in which all the items are getting equal chances. Is it? On random basis. And in random sampling, 2 methods are used. Firstly, lottery system, and second is tables of random. Random tables. The random tables are those kind of tables which statisticians have prepared, and with the help of these tables, the data will be collected in sampling method. The best table which is given by Professor Tipat is in which he have given the concept of how the sampling method in random method or random sampling will be applied. Second one is purposive sampling. Purposive sampling is that kind of sampling, or you can call it deliberate. Is it? The investigator is collecting data on some own wishes. Is it? On some purposes. Is it? Some purpose is there. Then the investigator collects the data, and chances of biasedness will be there. Is it? Data will be less accurate because only out of the universal population only few items are getting chances, and all the items are not getting chances. Like as the random sampling, all the items are getting equal chances. Then another one is stratified. Stratified means strata. Strata means groups. Means we are dividing our data into different groups. Is it? After that, like as class 11th students, is it? Some are taking PCB, that is math. Some are taking PCB, that is bio. Is it? And some are taking humanities. Take example, 100 students are there. 40 are in PCB, 30 are in PCM, and 40 and 30, 70, and 30 are again in humanities. That means class 11 students are there. We are dividing them on some basis, on some strata. Strata means groups, and we are dividing them on some characteristics or some features. The strata there will be difference among students in some features or some characteristics. That is the example of stratified data sampling. Now another one is systematic. Systematic sampling is another one in which data will be collected in a systematic manner, like as I have given you the example of 100 students. We are firstly arranging them on the basis of alphabetical values or sometimes in roll numbers, on numerical figures, and that kind of sampling is known as sampling method. And in this systematic sampling, after arranging the data in a systematic manner, alphabetically or numerically, then we are selecting roll number 5, roll number 15, roll number 25. That kind of sampling or method is known as systematic sampling. Another one is quota sampling. Quota means fixed quota. Like as we have to select a football team in our school, then we are taking students from different classes. Firstly, we are notifying that we will take students from 10th to 12th. 4 classes are there, and we have to select 15 or 16 students from all the 4 classes. That kind of situation, when we are taking samples, we are taking data on the basis of some quota, fixed quota, number of students. That kind of method is known as sampling, quota sampling. Last one is convenience. Convenient sampling is that kind of method of sampling in which the investigator is collecting data on his own convenience, on some own criteria. Like as investigator has requirement of data of school teachers, he is not taking data from schools, he is taking the list of teachers or list of students from their school prospects. Means invigilator himself or herself gets data not directly from the informants but getting data from their school prospects. That is the example of convenience sampling. That means these are the 6 types of sampling method. Now I will give you short overview on a comparative look of census and sampling. I hope now you will be able to clear or to differentiate between these two. Firstly, census method, it will be real, but sample method, it will not be so real. Secondly, time consuming is required here, but in sampling less time will be consumed. And less census, it will be most expensive. You are aware, huge amount is expenditure on census of population. Instead of that, sampling will be very economical. But here the data will be 100% chances of real data will be in census, but least chances of reliability of data will be in sampling method. But sometimes here errors, statistical errors will be very less in census, but statistical errors in sampling method may be very high. This is the short overview on today's lecture. That is what is meant by census and sample, and what are the 6 methods which are used to collect the sampling method. Okay, thank you.